When exactly did you start believing that average was acceptable? Was it the moment someone clapped for your mediocrity? Was it when comfort became more seductive than challenge? Or was it more subtle, like a quiet agreement made between your soul and your fear, sealed with the words, maybe later? You weren't born to blend in. You weren't wired for maintenance mode. You are a walking vault of brilliance, locked not by your circumstances, but by the lies you've told yourself for too long. You think you're waiting for a breakthrough. But here's the truth. No one ever says loud enough, your breakthrough is waiting for you. It's not hiding. It's not teasing you. It's waiting for the version of you bold enough to unlock it. Every breakthrough begins where excuses die. The battlefield isn't out there. It's not the economy, your past, your parents, your boss, or your broken timeline. The battlefield is between your ears. And the first war you must win is against your default thinking. I didn't whisper when he said eyes roared through the pages. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But most people stop at the conceive. They sketch ideas like dreamers, but build nothing because belief takes work. Your mind is a tool or a trap. It can be trained like a blade or left to rust in indecision. Tesla, Jobs, Mandela, they all bled belief before the world ever clapped. Your breakthrough won't come from more information. It'll come from transformation mental rewiring so radical that the old you wouldn't recognize the new you. You need to disrupt your own thinking. Your mindset is either the gatekeeper to your greatness or the assassin of your potential. Choose your identity wisely. There was a time you believed you could do anything. Maybe it was when you were 5 and you told the world you'd fly. No doubt, no hesitation, no limits. Then someone laughed, and their disbelief became your prison sentence. Let me be clear. Belief is not a soft thing. It's not something you whisper over candles or vision boards. Belief is violent. It shatters limitation. It breaks generational curses. It rewrites family legacies. Walt Disney believed in Disneyland before it had blueprints. Oprah believed in her worth before she had a voice. Belief is the engine behind every miracle that ever wore a name tag. But you've been trying to borrow belief. You've been living on borrowed confidence, borrowed dreams, borrowed timelines. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. No one is coming to rescue you from your own disbelief. You must become the architect of your own certainty. You must believe so violently that doubt no longer feels safe around you. That's when the breakthrough begins to shake. You say you want more, but what exactly does that mean? Success is a vague term. Freedom is romanticized. Purpose is posted, but not practiced. Lack of clarity is the silent killer of destiny. Imagine Edison saying, I kind of want to invent something. No bulb, no light, no revolution. Your breakthrough isn't just about action, it's about aim. Clarity is power. The sharper your aim, the deeper your impact. Until you define it, you can't create it. Write it down. Make it specific. Don't just say you want to be wealthy, define the number, the why, and the life behind it. Don't just say you want to be happy, clarify what that actually looks like for you. If your vision is foggy, your progress will be slow. But once you see it, really see it, the universe begins to move with you not against you. Your breakthrough needs instructions. Give it a blueprint. A breakthrough is not just a moment, it's a movement. And movements start with vision. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't say, I have a plan. He said, I have a dream. That dream was a disruption, a declaration. Your breakthrough must begin with vision, not circumstance. Vision sees past pain, past limits, past evidence. Vision doesn't ask for permission from the past. It demands cooperation from the future. Henry Ford didn't ask what the world needed. He built what they didn't yet understand. Vision doesn't whisper, it pulls you. It keeps you awake at 2 a.m. It makes your current life unbearable because it keeps showing you a future you haven't built yet. The clearer the vision, the louder its voice. The louder its voice, the quicker your breakthrough. Most people wait to feel ready. Champions move while the world sleeps because their vision screams louder than their excuses. A life without purpose is a race without a finish line. You sprint, you sweat, you suffer, but you never arrive. Your breakthrough doesn't come from more hustle, it comes from alignment. Purpose is alignment in action. It's your values, your gifts, your pain, your passion all braided into one roaring direction. Andrew Carnegie didn't just build steel. He built legacy. Because purpose isn't what you do, it's what drives what you do. It's what makes the struggle worth it. Pain without purpose becomes poison. But pain with purpose becomes power. Your breakthrough moment is hiding beneath your why. And when your why becomes non-negotiable, so does your transformation. You don't need more motivation. You need a reason so deep it drowns every excuse you've ever whispered. You will never break through what you're unwilling to discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect made visible. It's showing up when motivation has packed its bags. It's the grit to keep swinging even when applause has gone silent. Every champion you admire, they weren't the most gifted. They were the most committed. Muhammad Ali said it best. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Let that sink in. Champions suffer on purpose. They choose pressure before it chooses them. You want your breakthrough, you better get used to boring, to repetition, to showing up at 5 a.m. when your excuses show up at 4:59. Discipline is divine rebellion. It's saying, I will not be controlled by comfort. It's sacrificing the urge for the vision. And that's what separates legends from spectators. Discipline makes the invisible inevitable. When your actions begin to match your ambition, that's when the walls begin to crack. That's when destiny starts knocking. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another course. You need movement. Action is the oxygen of breakthrough. Overthinking is the graveyard of greatness. You're not tired, you're just paralyzed by your own potential. You become an architect of excuses, a builder of delays. But here's the secret most never learn. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes because of it. Do you think Steve Jobs knew exactly how the iPhone would reshape humanity when he started? Do you think Elon Musk knew how to build rockets when he promised to put them in the sky? They didn't wait to be ready. They moved. Action is how the universe measures seriousness. It responds to boldness, not brilliance. You think your breakthrough will happen in your head? No. Breakthroughs happen in the doing, in the step you take when no one claps, in the work you do while everyone else is watching reruns of their comfort zones. Take one step, then another, and another. Breakthroughs don't announce themselves. They reward consistency. You're not stuck. You're just soft because you haven't built your resistance to no. Every breakthrough is guarded by rejection, by betrayal, by failure, by the silence of people who once believed in you. But that's the cost. Breakthrough is not free. It's forged. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back, it's the ability to push forward with more force than before you fell. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the light stayed on. How many times have you failed? Now be home style. Many times have you quit? You're not defined by what knocks you down. You're defined by what you decide when you're down. That's where most never return. That's where dreams are buried. But you're not here to fold. You're here to rise, to remind the world that resilience is not just a trait. It's your birthright. And when you wear your scars like armor, no failure can pierce your fire. Breakthrough doesn't come to the perfect. It comes to the relentless. It sounds soft, doesn't it? Gratitude. But don't be fooled. Gratitude is one of the most ferocious forces on earth. Why? Because it rewires your perception in the face of pain. It forces you to find gold in the ashes. When the world is falling apart, gratitude gives you power. When others see lack, you see leverage. When others quit, you thank the fire for the lesson. You think breakthrough is about force? It's about frequency. Gratitude raises your frequency to match the level of what you desire. You want success? You better start acting like it's already yours. Because what you appreciate multiplies. Carnegie knew this. He poured gratitude into philanthropy. Nelson Mandela expressed it from prison cells. They understood that power doesn't just come from climbing, it comes from remembering where you started and blessing every step forward. Gratitude is a reminder that you're not empty, you're becoming. And that shift in energy, that is the key most never find. Because you can't break through what you secretly resent. But once you bless the burden, the path opens. What worked yesterday may bury you tomorrow. The fastest way to irrelevance is to cling to what used to work. Do you know why Blockbuster died? Because it didn't adapt. Do you know why Kodak lost? Because it worshipped its comfort more than its potential. Breakthroughs are not static, they evolve. And so must you. The environment will change. The people will change. The tools will change. And the version of you who unlocked yesterday's success may not survive tomorrow's test. Adaptability is evolution in action. The ability to pivot without losing your purpose. To shift without shedding your soul. Every champion reinvents. Every legend relearns. Those who cling to pride become fossils. Those who remain teachable become immortal. Your breakthrough requires flexibility, not just force. Are you willing to upgrade your identity? To let go of what's outdated, even if it once made you proud? Your next level demands a new version of you, not a slightly better one, a different one. And that's where the breakthrough waits just past your refusal to evolve. Your breakthrough is waiting but it's allergic to arrogance. It will not reveal itself to those who believe they've learned enough. You must become a student of everything, most of all, your own evolution. Carnegie surrounded himself with thinkers. Edison obsessed over experiments. Da Vinci never stopped questioning. Because here's the law. The moment you stop learning, you start decaying. And most people are dying while still breathing because they stopped being curious. They stopped asking better questions. You're not stuck because there's no solution. You're stuck because you're addicted to what you already know. But the next level of your life isn't hiding behind more answers. It's hiding behind a better question. What is life trying to teach you right now that you keep resisting? What is the failure trying to say? What is the silence trying to show? The universe will keep repeating the same lessons until you grow wise enough to listen. Don't just learn from your wins. Learn from your wounds. They speak in scars. When you learn, you expand. When you expand, you shift. And when you shift, breakthrough becomes inevitable. Talent is cheap. Discipline gives you form. But mastery is the rarest currency on earth. And you cannot buy it. You earn it in the hidden hours, in the lonely repetitions, in the days when progress is invisible and results are nowhere to be found. Mastery is for those obsessed not with applause, but with alignment. You don't become a master by doing more. You become a master by refining, by eliminating the noise, by getting so intimate with your craft, your voice, your mission, that excellence becomes your identity. Beethoven didn't just compose music. He became the music. Jordan didn't just play basketball. He turned the court into a cathedral. What are you mastering? Are you sharpening anything long enough for it to cut? Because here's the truth. Most people dabble. They flirt with their potential. They taste greatness, but never devour it. Your breakthrough is not for dabblers. It's for those who demand mastery from themselves no matter who's watching, especially when no one is watching. If you want to unlock your breakthrough moment, you must confront the most dangerous lie of all, the lie of your false identity. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you're still playing the role someone else wrote for you. You're not small, you were taught to shrink. You're not lost, you were trained to ignore your internal compass. Somewhere along the way, you adopted a script that isn't yours. A narrative built on fear, approval, and silence. And now the real you is suffocating beneath the performance. But here's the secret most never face. You don't have to become someone new to break through. You just have to remember who you already were before the world told you otherwise. The child with fire in their eyes. The rebel who asked, "Why not me?" The soul that didn't apologize for wanting more. Your breakthrough doesn't come from becoming. It comes from unbecoming everything that isn't true. Strip the mask. Burn the costume. Stop negotiating with your own greatness. You are not broken. You are becoming visible. And the moment your identity aligns with your destiny, the chains shatter. So many chase external validation, not realizing they already own the factory. You're not missing the breakthrough. You're missing the access point. It's not out there. It's not in someone else's story. It's not in a new program, a trend, or a savior. It's in the depth of you. The breakthrough isn't something you wait for. It's something you summon. It responds to alignment, to fire, to truth. You don't need more time. You need more truth-telling. Tell the truth about what you really want. Tell the truth about how long you played small. Tell the truth about how many times you said someday when your soul was screaming now. That is where the door unlocks. That is where the chains fall. Because when you stop hiding behind timing and start living with truth, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, so does your trajectory. There is no breakthrough without radical ownership. Not partial, not convenient, not selective, radical. The kind of ownership that stares into the mirror and doesn't flinch. The kind that says, it was me. It was always me. My decisions, my patterns, my tolerations, my standards. Because here's the cold truth. You can't blame your way to freedom. You can't excuse your way to elevation. You either own your life or you rent your existence from other people's expectations. There is no in-between. Breakthrough begins the moment you stop outsourcing responsibility and start declaring, I created this, and if I created this, I can uncreate it. I can shift it. I can build again, stronger, sharper, truer. Victimhood is a thief in disguise. It offers you sympathy but robs you of power. And every time you say, I can't, because you're handing your future to something you've outgrown. Burn the contract. Take it back. The door doesn't open for those who knock passively. It opens for those who claim the keys. There will come a moment, maybe it's now, where everything inside you says, retreat. And in that exact moment, you'll have to choose comfort or courage. There is no courage without fear. That's what makes it sacred. Every breakthrough rides on the back of fear, not because fear has power, but because courage uses it as fuel. Lincoln felt fear. So did Mandela. So did every leader who stepped forward when the cost was high. But they didn't wait to be fearless, they moved anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. There's mastery over it. It's whispering, I'm terrified, and I'm still doing it. Your breakthrough doesn't need a perfect you. It needs a brave you. The version of you willing to walk barefoot across fire because you finally realized staying stuck hurts more than failing forward. The fear never leaves, but neither does your fire. Pick one. Do you know what the word decide actually means? It comes from the Latin decidere, to cut off, to kill the other options, to sever the escape routes, to burn the boats. Every breakthrough is born in the fire of a real decision. Not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe one day. A decision. Most people never break through because they never decide. They dabble. They half commit. They flirt with greatness but marry their excuses. But you, if you've made it this far, you're ready to cut off every version of you that wasn't committed. The indecisive you, the distracted you, the fearful you, the apologetic, permission-seeking you. Kill the noise. Make the vow. You're not here to test the waters. You're here to part the sea. That only happens with decision. Decision changes identity. And when identity shifts, reality has no choice but to follow. If belief starts the engine, and discipline drives the wheels, and courage pushes through the fire, then will is what slams the door behind you and says, I'm not going back. Will is the spiritual force that refuses to break. It is not gifted. It is summoned. It's the muscle beneath the soul, the thing that says, I will go further, even if everything in me screams to quit. You think champions don't get tired? They do. They just made a pact with their willpower that says, we don't stop at pain. We stop at the finish line. Your breakthrough is not for the interested. It is for the unreasonable. The ones who endure beyond exhaustion. The ones who train when no one's watching. The ones who rise after betrayal, heartbreak, failure, and say, I don't care how long it takes. I will not die average. Will turns impossible into inevitable, and it demands your full presence. No halfway prayers, no passive vision boards, no lukewarm goals. Just one internal command, I will. And that is where your breakthrough crouches in silence, waiting to be unleashed. You're not chasing the breakthrough. You are becoming it. There is a point where talking is over, planning is over, even hoping is over. Now it's about embodiment. When the vision has been carved so deeply into your bones that every breath speaks it. When the purpose burns so loud you don't need reminders, your being becomes the signal. You don't walk like the old you. You don't speak like the old you. You don't move like the old you. Why? Because you're no longer trying to break through. You're already moving like someone who has. The outer world responds to the inner embodiment. People feel it. Opportunities bend toward it. Resistance begins to respect it. When your body, your voice, your rhythm, your rituals, when all of it aligns with what you said you want, you no longer need to force. You attract. You command. You radiate. The ones who create empires don't scream for attention. They embody frequency. And everything else organizes itself accordingly. The world taught you to grind, to hustle, to burn out, to chase success like it's a fleeing prey. But real power doesn't strain. Real power aligns. Alignment is the ultimate amplifier. It's what happens when your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your emotions stop arguing. When everything you are begins moving in the same direction. That's when life flows. That's when synchronicities happen. That's when the people, the doors, the breakthroughs start appearing not by magic, but by magnetic alignment. You've been told to push harder. But maybe, just maybe, you need to realign deeper. You don't need more fuel, you need fewer leaks. Where are you still living out of sync? Where are you saying one thing and doing another? Breakthrough comes when the signal you send out is clean, when there's no static, when there's no apology in your energy. Alignment doesn't mean perfect conditions. It means you stopped betraying yourself. And when that happens, you no longer chase the life you want, it moves toward you. Every breakthrough is preceded by a shift in energy. Not luck, not chance, not inheritance. Energy. Your energy writes the script before your actions ever hit the stage. It's in the way you walk into a room. It's in the way you sit with your vision. It's in the way you handle rejection. It's in the way you recover from chaos. Energy is not some abstract buzzword. It is the language of impact. Do you think people followed Gandhi for his words alone? They followed his energy. Do you think people were drawn to MLK for his speeches only? They were drawn to the presence. Your breakthrough is listening to your signal. And if your signal is confusion, delay, fear, or desperation, then that's what echoes back. But if your signal is clarity, certainty, fire, faith, then the doors start opening. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You shifted internally, and that altered the rhythm of the entire universe around you. That's what energy does. It ripples, it broadcasts, it invites. Shift your energy and the world no longer ignores you. It starts responding to you. There's a moment, and maybe you felt it coming, where the dream, the struggle, the quiet work no longer feels like maybe. It feels like inevitable. Not because the evidence proves it, but because your certainty overpowers the evidence. That's the moment the breakthrough arrives. It always shows up after inevitability is declared, not before. It doesn't come to the one who says, I'll try. It comes to the one who says, this is done. It comes to the one who moves as if the outcome is already written. Because it is. You just haven't stepped fully into the script yet. Breakthrough doesn't knock on every door. It walks into the house that was already built to receive it. It visits the soul who has already become the future they once feared. It pours into the life where faith is louder than logic. And the person who knows, not hopes, not wishes, not waits, knows that they were not born to wonder. They were born to walk through walls. And when that knowing becomes your new normal, the ground beneath you begins to split. The ceiling above you begins to lift. The moment stops waiting, and the breakthrough finally arrives. You will never rise without leaving something behind. Breakthrough always demands payment, and the currency is sacrifice. You cannot carry everything into the next level. You will have to lay some things down. Old habits, outdated beliefs, toxic agreements with comfort. People who loved your silence but feared your voice. If it's costing your future, it's too expensive to keep. Greatness is not just about what you add, it's about what you surrender. You can't hold on to limitation with one hand and reach for destiny with the other. At some point, you must choose. Not everything deserves to survive the new you. It's okay to grieve what you outgrow, but you must also bury it with honor and keep walking. Think of the phoenix. It doesn't just rise. It burns first. So must you. Let the fire consume the false. Let the ashes tell the truth. You were never meant to stay hidden beneath what's familiar. You were meant to sacrifice what's temporary for what's eternal. When you're stuck, it's not that life is against you. It's that your vantage point is too low. Breakthrough isn't just a moment, it's a mountain. And the climb will break your breath, test your faith, and stretch your soul. But when you rise above the noise, everything changes. Your problems look smaller. Your possibilities look wider. Your pace becomes steady. Elevation doesn't remove the pain, it reframes it. What once felt like a curse becomes preparation. What once felt like rejection becomes divine redirection. Every powerful person you admire had to climb, not because they were better, but because they stopped accepting ground-level answers to sky-level dreams. You must rise. You must train your mind to live from the peak, even when your feet are still in the valley. That's where elevation begins. Not with arrival, but with awareness. You don't need new mountains. You need a new view. And once you find it, you'll never again lower yourself just to feel safe. Your breakthrough moment isn't about improving the old you. It's about leaving the old you behind completely. Redefinition is not cosmetic, it's surgical. It's not a fresh coat of paint, it's demolition and rebuild. It's looking in the mirror and saying, thank you for surviving, but now it's time to evolve. The version of you that fits into average cannot coexist with the version of you that commands destiny. They do not share the same language, the same posture, or the same priorities. You must redefine what power looks like, what love looks like, what worth looks like, what success means for you, not for society. Redefinition is violent clarity. It doesn't whisper, it severs. Because your future cannot be negotiated with the beliefs that kept you small. You must choose. Will you keep explaining the old you? Or will you become so elevated that no explanation is needed? Let them say, you've changed. You were supposed to. The final question before the breakthrough isn't, what do I want? It's, what will remain when I'm gone? Legacy is what echoes long after your voice fades. And the truth is, your breakthrough isn't just yours. It's for every soul watching you rise. For every future generation tracing your footsteps. For every silent warrior who needed someone, anyone, to show them what was possible. Legacy isn't built in one moment of fame. It's built in the 1,000 hidden decisions made in the dark. The ones where no one's watching, where quitting would be easy. But something in you whispers, not yet, not here, not like this. Your breakthrough is not just an answer to your desire. It's a seed planted in the timeline of history. And one day, long after your name is forgotten, the impact will remain. In books, in movements, in hearts. Legacy is the final gift of the breakthrough. It says, I was here. I lived with fire. I changed the world. And I left the door open for those behind me. So now we've arrived, this moment right here. Not a metaphor, not an idea, but a line in the sand, a spiritual threshold that asks one question, and it demands an answer loud enough to shake everything you've ever settled for. Will you rise? Not someday, not maybe, no. Because the truth is, the breakthrough was never locked. You were. And it wasn't your fault at first. You were trained to wait, trained to comply, trained to shrink your voice, your power, your hunger, just enough to make everyone around you comfortable. But that version of you is dying now, right here, because this moment is not polite, it is not quiet, it is not asking for permission. It is a reckoning, a violent remembering of everything you really are beneath the layers of delay, fear, and apology. There is no magic key. There is no divine sign. There is only choice. You either keep dragging the weight of almost for another year, or you declare the breakthrough as done. Right now, right here, you decide that you are no longer waiting to be chosen because you were born already chosen. And from this moment on, you will stop asking for evidence and start moving like proof. You will stop trying to convince others of your worth and start embodying it. You will no longer sit at the table of doubt, begging for scraps of belief. You'll build your own table from the wood of every rejection you've ever endured. You will no longer tiptoe toward change. You will command it with your breath, with your backbone, with your being. And every time fear knocks, as it always will, you'll answer with fire in your eyes and say, I'm not who I was. I don't flinch anymore. I don't fold anymore. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to leave a legacy. Because that's what this is really about, isn't it? Not just success, but transformation. Not just winning, but awakening. You're not here to slightly improve. You are here to radically shift, to walk into rooms and change the temperature, to carry a frequency so fierce that mediocrity flees in your presence, to become the one they whisper about, not because of luck, but because of discipline, clarity, and force. You don't owe the old version of you anything except gratitude and a proper burial. Let them rest. Because from now on, you are walking with certainty. No more tiptoeing around your gifts. No more diluting your voice to be palatable. No more pausing your destiny to pacify the opinions of people who will never understand your calling. This is your hour. Your bloodline has waited for this. Your future is starving for this. History is watching. The ceiling is gone. The time is now, and there's no going back. Because now, you don't just believe in the breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. And the world better get ready, because you're not walking in quietly. You're walking in like thunder, and you're never leaving the same again.